Hi, I'm Suzanne Caldeira of Guaranteed Rate. I don't know how you ended up on my YouTube. Maybe you were searching for a local realtor or somebody to help you with home buying or home selling. So you're in for a treat if you stay and watch this whole video till the end. I have today with me Jonathan Bolano of Bolano Home of HomeSmart, team leader, and just an awesome guy. So thanks for letting me chit chat with you.
Of course. Thank you for asking me.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I want to know your story. I want to know what got you into this industry.
It was really my wife. She was working out in Boston as a biology major, working on DNA and such. And when we first got together, we decided that we were going to bring her down, but there was nothing in Rhode Island for an opportunity. And so after being here for a few months, she's like, I'm bored. I need to do something. So she's like, I've always wanted to get into real estate. So we're like, boom, just go for it. At the same time, I was also interested in it. So I was like, I'll just do it with you and we'll see what happens. At least it'll be like some vacation money. Well, lo and behold, we both ended up falling in love with two different sections of it. Her with the transactional side, so a lot of the documents in the back end, and me with the sales side and working with the people. So we both ended up just kind of pushing forward that way. She created a transaction business off of it, and I stuck it out with real estate, and that's like just everything in a nutshell. But yeah. That's kind of how it kept going.
Yeah, well, talk to me about where do you find that you get your most joy when you're engaged in your practice?
So it's pretty much the process. By major, I'm an engineer, so I like processes and I like to simplify and make things more and more efficient. And so just being able to face the challenges that organically come up every single day and intertwining them into the process that we already use, or that formula, as we say in math, and just seeing the customer or the client at the end, their smile and their joy of being able to purchase their home, whether it's the first, second, third vacation. It's really, I don't know, it's where I get my kicks from. I enjoy everything from beginning to end, and just the experience of meeting new people. Little quick story, back in the day, I worked as a waiter at a restaurant over in Pawtucket, and as I got out of that and I started going into the engineering field, which I was doing for a bit, I always said that if I could find something where I was working with people like that, but monetarily made the salary technically that I made as an engineer, I was like, I would love to do that. And real estate is just that. You get to work with great people. It's always new. It's never boring. There's always something in it, and it's also able to provide for the family. So this is just probably one of the most life-changing and best experiences I've had since I've gotten into anything in my life, I guess you could say.
So you bring up the engineering background, and interestingly, you're my second realtor that I know and work with and have featured who's an engineer, and you guys have given me a little bit of a paradigm shift, because a lot of times engineers are not engaging people and tend to be a little more introverts. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of opening my eyes to going, wow, but maybe that's what's made you so good, is that you are engaging. And have you always been that way?
Yeah, I've always been kind of a little bit of an introvert, extrovert, depending on the scenario. But I'm also a dancer, so I do salsa, bachata, kizomba, and other styles as well. So I've always had something trying to push me out that way. So I had this artistic side, and then I also had this really analytical side as well. And I've always tried to work as being different, and kind of leveraging that to create value for people regardless of what it is that I'm doing. And so I've always, as I was going through the engineering courses to get my degree, I realized that there were certain gaps and things. And so I was just like, something nobody else is doing this, let me go that route, which is part of the reason why I ended up as a computer engineer versus going electrical like the other 80% of people that graduated from URI in my class. Not many people went computer. Just like, well, there's demand there. And so that's why I kept my artistic side as well, because I felt like being able to combine those two and basically the extrovert and the introvert, and figuring out where does it fit best in my life.
I think that's what's inspired me about you, and what I noticed about you in the beginning was how you wanted to understand the inner workings, so that way you could bring it to your clients and bring it to your process, and and help them to see from beginning to end. Whereas one of the things that really impressed me about you was your wanting to understand the inner workings and to make it simplistic for your clients. And I'm sure you must get that type of feedback from clients that you've taken such a big step for them and help them to see every stage in a lot easier format.
Yeah, no, that's actually one of my biggest goals. I've created a bunch of, so since I'm a graphic designer as well, I created a bunch of tools early on because I went through my first 2 purchases without being a realtor. And I always felt like I was in a black hole. Like I had great realtors and such, and they worked to what was required of them at that point, but I was just like, there could be more to it. And I didn't, and going through 2 transactions, I still didn't understand what was going on, why was everything happening and such. And so it was my goal when I became a realtor to avoid that, to avoid having my clients look at me at the end and say, oh, well, that was an experience or that was expected because I've heard all the horror stories. So I guess it's just another one of them. I was like, no, we can do better. We can be better. We can provide better. So created certain tools, and I created a strategy of how to kind of interface with clients from beginning to end and make the process as smooth as possible. And a friend of mine, she just bought a house, I think 2 months ago from today, where a week outside of closing, she said, Bolano, there's got to be something else. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, this was way too easy. I've heard all the horror stories. She's a chemistry major and she works in a risk department and such. So she's trained to see problems, and she did a bunch of research into buying a house. And I said her name, and I said, hey, we did everything right. We followed the process appropriately. We made sure that everything that was tough was taken care of at the beginning. You understood what was going on during the life of it. And now we're a week out and you can actually breathe and say, you just need to work on packing and focus on that. It really is just that easy, especially when you understand what the process looks like from an early stage. So I start really, really high, so that way people have a general understanding of what to expect. And then as we broke forward, I break down into detail as we hit certain chunks. And then I talk about 2 steps in advance as well, so they know what's expected of them at all points. And then you put that side by side with the tools, and it just oversimplifies everything. The other thing that I like is at the end, people say, why the heck did I even hire you? I didn't need you. This is way too easy. And I'm like, exactly. That's because you work with somebody that focuses on those things and makes it a priority. I mean, this is the biggest purchase of their lives for the most part for many. And it's like, why can't it be enjoyable? Why can't it be something that they can do from an educated standpoint? Because I know that schools and sometimes parents and society doesn't teach us these things. So it's good to be able to have that general understanding. So when you hit inspections or appraisal or you hit these negotiating standpoints, you can make decisions from a knowledgeable standpoint versus kind of just being in the gray and just saying, I just trust you, Mr. Realtor, which I don't care for, because I'm here as a guide. I'm here to help provide you all the information that I can, so that way you can make knowledgeable decisions and be able to feel good about what you did at the end of it.
Who are your favorite type of clients? Are there a certain type of client that you're like, oh, you know what, I'm in my jam. This is who I love to work with. This is who feeds my soul.
People that I can joke around with, because I also, yes, we're professionals, and yes, this is a very serious thing, but why not, like I said earlier, why not be able to enjoy it? And so people that I can kind of joke around with, and we can have fun and during the life of the process. I mean, I think that's also awesome. That's also the ideal person that I love working with.
That's awesome. So you're the team lead. Talk to me a little bit about your team and some of the vision that you have for your team in the future.
Yeah, so our team is pretty diverse in many different aspects. And that's one of the things that we like to focus over here on. Since from a young age, I love diversity, both of the mind and of other things as well. And because I think that's what creates power, and power from a standpoint of being able to accomplish things from a strong standpoint. We've got so far the 6 of us, including me, and we're all kind of focused on different things. And there's some overlap. One person works over in the northwestern side of Rhode Island, in addition to Connecticut. I have someone else that focuses on Massachusetts. I myself am focused on the Providence County, Rhode Island as a whole, but Providence County mostly. And I have other people that do different things as well. So we're pretty diverse in how we manage Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. From a personal standpoint, it's like a family. It's really fun. It's really interesting. When we're all together, you'd think that we had known each other for years upon years. But when in reality, we've only been a team per se for just over a year now. And it's really a beautiful thing when you can pull people from all different walks of life together to create something more or less this beautiful. Because I think that what our team shares is really interesting. We really focus on helping each other out. We have our team meetings and it's really like just pounding issues that we're all working in together out at the same exact time, whether it's stuff that we're dealing with a certain transaction that's getting really complicated, or marketing, or just our understanding of real estate or their understanding of real estate and certain things that they're facing at that moment. And so being able to come together and not be competitive and just say, you know, something, helping each other out helps us as a whole, and really creates that family dynamic. So that's pretty much the team. The team is a family. It's the Bolano home family, and we all work together and trying to accomplish and help others achieve the dreams that we ourselves have already achieved. So it's really an amazing thing, to be honest. I love it.
Yeah, and I can feel it, because you definitely exude the passion for your team and for real estate in general. So I know when I've had the pleasure to work with you on the lending side for your clients, constantly hearing from clients how high of a regard that they hold you, or that they hold your team members. So you guys are really doing a great job.
Thank you.
And yeah, no, you're welcome. You're welcome. What would you say is or has been some of the biggest challenges for you as you were saying, okay, you know what, this is what I'm going to do? What are some of the things that you think that you were able to overcome?
Real estate is a lot of figure it out yourself. But the great thing about my career is I've always been focused on finding mentors and people that I can turn to for answers. And so there have been people along the way, brokers and other realtors that have been there, yourself included, actually, Suzanne. You were a great mentor. And so I've had a strong base. And so I'm going to just point those people out right now because I think they deserve some recognition. So we started with Century 20 Rod, and then there was Robin Pastore there, and she did a great job helping us kind of understand the documents and such. So she was a great mentor at the beginning. And then we went to Keller Williams, and there was Kim Foley amongst the brokers and other agents there, like Yvonne Souza. Yvonne Souza was a huge mentor and continues to be a mentor to this very day. And then we went to HomeSmart, and there's Dean Tatancourt and other people at HomeSmart as well that have been really helpful. And the biggest thing that's helped me get through a lot of the challenges that I was going to face, when we hit a lot of ceilings when we were at Keller Williams, Yvonne Souza was really a big integral part to that. She helped kick us through certain things that seemed to be getting in our way, and she helped simplify it, and she helped provide like guidance towards how to get the business to that next level. And she just opened up her own brokerage, and she's doing a phenomenal job over there. So it's really interesting, like having someone like that to kind of like work towards. The biggest challenges was just trying to figure it all out on our own, trying to understand, because Lisette and I, we both come from a college background, and we had always planned on using those degrees for our lives. And so Lisette, like I said, she was a biology major, and I was a computer engineer with a minor in math. And I just always anticipated that. We joke around about it because people would come up to us and talk about when we were at those points, and they would say, oh, well, I'm going to go get a business major. I'm going to go open up a business. And both of us would like cower. Like we didn't know each other at the time, but we would cower at people and just be like, why would you want to do that? Like, when you can do this, like, this is awesome. We didn't have the background. We came from complete ignorance or lack of knowledge of what this would look like. So it was really just learning from the ground up. And that was probably the hardest part. But like I said, having great mentors and surrounding yourself with really positive growth mindset style people. And then YouTube University as well. I've learned a lot off of that. Really helps kind of overcome those challenges daily.
You still dancing?
Not as much as I would like to because of COVID.
Sure.
Lisette and I are still known to get a little jam out here and there here at the house. The kitchen, which is still under construction, has turned into the dance floor. So we do a pretty good job tearing up those things right there. But yeah, no, if once all this COVID stuff drops, I plan to be right back out there and hopefully start back up the classes that I was doing prior to getting into real estate. Because those are good times, and it's a really good scene. It's a beautiful scene. I love being around artistic people, and I love having the opportunity to break away from the everyday same mindset and doing the same thing and going into something where I can explore a different side of my mind that I don't normally get to explore being in real estate.
Well, I think that's living a full life, right? It's being able to love your 9 to 5, whatever it may be, and
24/7.
9 to 5, 10, 11, 12, and to be able to enjoy the other aspects of your life and the fruits of your labor. So now, do the kids have as much swagger as you guys have on the dance floor? Have they started to?
I think more. They've combined both of us have given them, and they're always out on a jam out session. At dinner, we even sometimes have like a little beatbox section, or we'll stop banging on the table at the end and just turn into a little like musical parade at the end of the table. And then Azariah, the second oldest, he's the moment that he hears music, he's always doing like a little like bounce and like jumping and doing a little shake. The other one is just starting to learn how to walk, so he's been doing his bounce. And Tivel thinks he's a break dancer all the time, so that one's always really interesting.
That's awesome.
It's quite the circus.
Oh, it's got to be. Yeah, but it's got to be a fun circus. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What's the best way for people to connect with you if they're thinking about buying or selling a home?
So the best way is to just contact my cell phone, 401-612-3755. And if not that, then you can always find us everywhere on social media. So if you type in my last name anywhere, just about YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, you'll find us. So Bolano Home on all those platforms. And I might be starting up a TikTok. It's there, it's gotten going, but I don't know how to utilize it properly yet. I guess I'm kind of aging myself there a little bit, but the goal is to get there, especially with the dancing background. It's kind of like you have to.
Yeah,
it's
you
almost
definitely have to.
So hopefully by the end of this year, I will have gotten in with the times and I'll be getting jiggy with it on there. So
I friggin' love it. Well, thank you so much.